welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today here in the 90. My name is Alex Caulfield. I'm Sounders FC Senior Director of Communications, and we're here to welcome a very special guest today, new Sounders FC midfielder and designated player Nicolás Lodeiro. We'll begin today with opening remarks from our set of panelists here, followed by a media Q&A and a photo op. Things out. There'll also be a sidebar scrums here as we conclude toward the end. As usual, if you have any questions, please just raise your hand and we'll go around the room once before we come back around for follow-ups during the panel Q&A. At this time, we'll introduce our panelists. Immediately to my left is our translator for today, Augusto Valdez, who's going to be helping out Nico. Nico's obviously to Augusto's left. In the middle is Sounders FC General Manager and President of Soccer, Garth Lagerwey, and immediately to his left is Sounders FC Interim Head Coach Brian Schmetzer, followed by Sounders FC Sporting Director Chris Henderson. We'll begin with opening remarks from Garth, and then make our way over to Brian, Chris, and then Nico will close things out, and then we'll turn things over to you guys. Garth?
All right, thanks everybody for coming. We really appreciate you coming out and sharing this moment with us. I think it's a big moment for our franchise. We've spent 4.5 months looking for a designated player, and I think Nicolás is going to be a tremendous presence for us going forward. We hope to have him eligible as soon as this weekend to come in and hopefully make a big impact with our team. When you pursue a player of Nico's quality, that takes time. And some of the things we were waiting on were he had to play in the Copa America with Uruguay. And then he had to play in Copa Libertadores with Boca Juniors. And candidly, even 5 years ago, the thought that the playmaking midfielder for Boca Juniors, one of the biggest clubs in all of the Americas, would come and play in MLS in the prime of his career at 27 years old, was honestly unthinkable. And Nico's being here is a credit to him and his family and the step they've taken, but also to how fast our league is growing and how important Seattle Sounders are becoming as a big club in this league. So I think this is a game changer for us. And let me talk to you a little bit about Nico and why we're so excited to have him. He has competed in Europe for Ajax, won championships there. He's competed in Brazil for Botafogo and Corinthians. And been successful there, helped Botafogo make it to Copa Libertadores. For those who don't know, Copa Libertadores is the most prestigious club competition in South America. Nico's played in it 5 times. And one of the things that we're going to emphasize here today is it's not just that he's been on some good teams or played with some good players or played in some big games, but that everywhere he's gone, Nico has won, and he's made his teams better. And so he hasn't just played in 5 Copa Libertadores, he's played in the semifinal twice, reaching it with Nacional in 2009 and with Boca just a couple of weeks ago. And that, to me, is a player worth waiting for. Nico has played in 2 World Cups. And again, not just been on the team, but played for a top 10 national team in 2 World Cups, played in a semifinal in a World Cup. These are experiences that not many players in MLS have ever had. On top of that, he's played in 3 Copa Americas for Uruguay, and he's been a Copa America champion. So again, this is a player who's integral to one of the better national teams, certainly in the Americas, arguably in the world. And he's chosen to come and play for Seattle Sounders in MLS. And again, I think that's absolutely remarkable. And the fact that we had to be dogged and patient in our pursuit of a player of his caliber, again, I think is a reflection of how important we believe he's going to be to our franchise. So without further ado, I will turn it over to, I would conclude by saying thank you, Nico. We are so excited to have you join us. Some other people are going to say some things yet, but I couldn't be more excited about signing and joining and having your family come here to Seattle, and I hope that you're safe and you're comfortable and you have a long career with us.
Muchas gracias que están entusiasmados porque estés con nosotros y que están felices de que tú y tu familia estén aquí, que estés por un largo tiempo con nosotros.
Bueno, buenas tardes para todos. Muchas gracias, Gar, por el esfuerzo que hicieron ustedes para contratarme y estoy feliz y convencido de que tomé la mejor decisión de venir a un club tan importante, la MLS, como lo es Seattle.
Thank you very much, Garth, for your words. Good afternoon for everybody. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very proud of coming to a team as the Sounders, and me and my family will be here to be part of this organization. Nothing we continue.
We'll turn things over to Brian Schmetzer at this time for his opening remarks.
Chris. I think Chris is going.
Sure, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Garth touched on it with Nico and a little bit about the scouting process. Garth and I had both gone down to Argentina and watched him play live on numerous times. Nico is a player who can change the game at any moment. He has great energy, technical ability in tight spaces. He's good with both feet, fantastic left foot on free kicks. And as Garth said, he has a winning mentality. And he is coming here to help us win games. And we're excited about being able to add a player of his caliber. In one of the games, we saw Nico play. I saw him against Union at La Bombonera. And the team was down 1-0. And Nico put the team on his back. He moved, got the ball, created the scoring opportunity, and ended up getting the winning goal in a 2-1 win over Union. So he has that attitude, never giving up and doing everything he can to help the team win. So we're very excited to add Nico, and we think he's going to really help us on hopefully in the next week.
Brian?
I'm ecstatic because as a coach, you want to have good players. I'm very, very keen on getting Nico and Clint together, Jordan Morris added into that mix, Nelson, all the guys. I'm sure they're going to get a good burst of energy from Nico's appearance with the club. And for me, a guy who was born and raised in Seattle, welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, before we bring the mic around here, if you have a question, please just let us know, raise your hand. And if you could, introduce yourself to Nico. He's new here and might not know you guys, obviously, yet, so let him know who you are and what outlet you represent. Danny here is going to be bringing the microphone around, so if you have any questions, now's the time.
Matt Pence, Seattle Times. Garth, my question's for you. You've talked in the past about how you guys keep sort of a constant list of targets that you guys update all the time. And when did Nico come to your guys' attention? And was this a need post-Obafemi Martins that you recognized in the team, or something that had kind of predated that?
We knew we didn't want to have 3 DP forwards in the long term. And certainly, no one, I don't think, predicted the Oba, when he left and the timing of that move. But we knew, particularly once we had added Jordan Morris, because remember, we didn't know we were going to be able to add Jordan Morris until late in January. But once we had him on board, to have him and have 2 DPs to sign another DP forward for us didn't make any sense. And specifically, we've targeted creative attacking midfielders. And you've heard me use this phrase before, but as force magnifiers, meaning we believe we have an elite forward, one of the best forwards in the league in Clint Dempsey. We believe we have the most talented young forward in the league in Jordan Morris. We have a designated player in Nelson Valdez, and we have an old veteran like Hercules Gomez as well, and a youngster like Golix. So we believe we have a lot of talent at forward, and a player like Nico is going to come in and make them all better. And we thought that type of magnification, that's what our team needs. Create higher quality chances, get Clint closer to goal, give him better chances, more looks in the game, so he doesn't have to carry so much of the burden by himself. And that is what we're really trying to do to bring in Nico, because I think he's going to make all of our team better and all of our best players better in the most critical parts of the field.
Mark Pischetti from Associated Press. A question for Brian and Chris. You guys have been here from the get-go. DPs have kind of come and gone. In terms of potential impact, how do you think Nico might compare to some of those other players?
I mean, we think Nico's going to be one of the top DPs we've signed at this club. I think he has an ability to lead the team as well. And his energy and winning mentality is infectious to his teammates.
Mark, I just want to say on the record, he's really, really good. So he's going to help a lot. Now, you pair a guy like Nico with the best field player this country's ever produced. They're going to be a dynamic pair. You add Jordan into the mix. We've had a lot of good DPs, and certainly Oba was a very, very talented player. But he's committed here. It's on a longer-term contract. I'm just really excited to see how we can all shuffle everything together and win some games.
Diego Rioja, ESPN Deportes and Fútbol en Vivo for Univision Seattle. For Nico, what brought you to Seattle, to the MLS? ¿Qué te trajo aquí a la MLS, una liga que está en crecimiento? ¿Qué te llamó la atención?
Buenas tardes. Primero me convenció Gar del proyecto y de lo que significaba Seattle en la MLS. Es un club importante dentro de esta liga, está creciendo mucho, siempre jugó los playoffs y siempre estuvo definiendo, y la verdad que me convenció y me gustó mucho. Las ganas que él tenía de que yo viniera me convencieron, y bueno, esa fue una de las decisiones por las cuales yo vine acá, y voy a tratar de ayudar al equipo y a demostrar por qué estoy acá.
One of the key reasons is because basically Garth convinced me. Garth convinced me with his passion about the team and with the project that we have with the team, and the performance that the Sounders typically have. They have been always playing in the playoffs every season, and it's an important team in the MLS overall. And that convinced me to come over here and be part of this project and be part of this team, and then help out the team to continue to be successful.
Nico Moreno, la afición Noroeste. Nico, ¿tú cómo crees que encajas, viendo la clase de jugadores que tiene el equipo y el sistema que juegan? ¿Cómo encajas tú en este sistema?
The question was, Nico, how do you believe that you fit into the type of structure that the team has in the Sounders?
Primero la decisión la va a tomar el entrenador. Yo vengo a ayudar al equipo en cualquier posición que sea necesaria. Creo que para mí es más fácil encajar cuando hay grandes jugadores y buenos jugadores como lo tiene Seattle. Creo que voy a encajar muy bien, porque ellos me van a ayudar a adaptarme, y eso va a ser importante para encajar en el equipo.
So basically I come to the team, but the decision of where do I play is ultimately of the coach, and I'm here to help, and I'm here to help in whatever position the coach decides me to play in. The most important thing for me is to be able to play with great players, and I know that the Sounders have other great players that I'm going to be able to play with them together, and I'm going to be able to fit well without a problem.
Andrew Harvey, Sports Press Northwest. My question is for Coach Schmetzer. Coach, sort of a similar question to what was just asked, but to what extent does the arrival of a player of Nico's caliber force you to kind of reevaluate what you're doing tactically, without putting too many cards on the table and showing us what's in your hand? Does he plug well into the system that has been going on? Does he plug well into the system that you have planned, or does his arrival kind of give you new options?
It gives us new options. I can't get into all of the specific details because we're coming up against a pretty wiry coach that is going to face us on Sunday. But Nicolás is going to have a big impact on the team. On the field, off the field, his character is very strong. We were talking earlier about trabajo duro y trabajo inteligente. So he's going to work hard, he's going to work smart, and I'm just very happy that I have a good soccer player like Nico on the team.
La pregunta es para Nico. Nico es el Rey 360 Radio, somos Sounders. El equipo está pasando por un momento de estrés. El día de ayer se fue el entrenador y el equipo va en el penúltimo lugar. ¿Cómo lo tomas tú?
The question is, the team is going through a difficult situation right now. We just changed coaches, and then we are one of the last one on the standing. So, what is your take on that?
Obviamente me hubiese gustado que el equipo esté en una mejor posición y que no haya tenido que pasar lo que pasó con el entrenador. Y estas cosas que están pasando, que están sucediendo, las tomo como una motivación y un desafío para mí, tratar de ayudar a que el equipo mejore, a que el equipo vuelva a estar en el lugar donde se merece realmente, y que ayudar a salir de esta situación.
Obviously, I would have preferred to come to the team when the team is doing well and when the coach has not been just changed. But at the end of the day, I take this as a challenge for me to be able to, a challenge that I can take and I can help the team go back to the place that we deserve and the place that we should be with the caliber of team of people that we have. So I'm hoping that I can collaborate on that to happen.
This is for Garth and also Chris, if you can chime in. But you touched on earlier on the process of scouting him and everything else. But if you could go a little bit more in depth when Nico first came onto your guys' radar and why it did take so long to finalize a deal and bring him in.
Just talk about that.
Yeah, I'll talk about the first part of the scouting of Nico. We went down early this year when the window was still open at the very beginning of this window. And we had followed him on video for months. He was a fantastic player. We obviously knew who he was from the competitions he's been in. We had a chance to see him live and get more than one of the scouts' eyes on him, which we feel is important to have multiple eyes on a player before we think about signing him. The one thing I want to add that we like about Nico is he's been playing at Boca Juniors, and that's one of the best environments in the world for games. And the fans there, he said, even when they're down, the fans get louder, and they cheer the team on, and they make it very difficult for fans to come. And I told him about our fans in Seattle, and he got that same excitement that the fans are going to be filling the stadium and have that same energy. So the conversations we had, and Garth has had many conversations with him leading up to this point, talked about his willingness to come here. His coach played in MLS, Chiloto, at Boca, so he learned quite a bit about our team and our league and the way we play, and I think that got him more and more excited about coming here.
Yeah, and I think there's, just again on timing to reiterate, Nico's a player that plays for his national team and plays for one of the best clubs in South America. And, if you guys remember, Boca in the quarterfinals was losing and went to penalties and was down 2 penalties. And Nico, I would admit that I was hoping that Boca was going to miss some penalties. But they didn't. And they advanced to semifinals. And that meant that they had to play a semifinal on the other side of Copa America. So the original hope was to get him after Copa America, which would have been toward the beginning of January, but that didn't come to pass. And as I said, I believe that it's not just Nico as an individual, but it's the type of player that Nico is that I think is so important to how we want to build this team going forward. We really felt like if we got this one right, and he would be a good complement to Clint Dempsey and to Jordan Morris, that we would make our best players better and make our team instantly better. And that judgment, in our opinion, was worth waiting an extra couple of weeks. And we were willing to wait. Had Boca gone to the final and won the whole thing, we were willing to wait until after July 27th to get him as well.
In regards to Nicolás Lodeiro, how important is he to what you envision in this team as a whole, as a franchise? How big Lodeiro is an impact to what you think this team?
Philosophically, this is a new beginning for us. This is an opportunity to play with the ball on the ground, to be a possession-based team, to be a passing team, to be a creative, attacking, entertaining team. To say that the solution is not to sign yet another attacker, but to sign a midfielder who can make the game so that we want the ball and that we can drive the game and we can dictate the game. And I believe Nico is going to help us do all of those things. And I believe that's an exciting way to play. And I think it's a way that our fans want to see. And I think it's also the way of the modern MLS as the league becomes increasingly technical, continues to add more and higher numbers of good players now that we have the TAM money coming in. And if you think about it, a couple of years ago, not all teams had 3 DPs. You're now talking about every team in the West, and I believe 16 out of 20 teams in the league have 3 DPs. And with the TAM money in here now, everybody has 2 to 3 TAM level players as well. So if you think about it, you've almost doubled the number of elite players in the league in the last 3 or 4 years. So if you think of that in mind, it's going to be more demanding technically as to how the game is played. It's going to be a higher level of soccer, and we needed a higher level of player in the middle of our team, in the middle of the park, to run the show for us, to be able to put us on level footing with the other teams and where the direction the league is headed.
Spencer Davis, Sounder at heart. Nico, you mentioned before that Alvaro Fernandez was the first one to kind of tell you about Seattle when he was here. What did he tell you both about the city and the team that kind of stood out, and did any of that kind of sway you?
En el primer momento, cuando surgió la posibilidad de venir a Seattle, obviamente le pregunté a Álvaro sobre el club y sobre la ciudad, y me dijo que no lo pensara, que me venga allá. Y uno lo conoce y somos compañeros, y esa ayuda también me sirvió para tomar la decisión de venir. Me habló muy bien del club, de la hinchada del club, de la ciudad, que es muy linda, y que me iban a recibir muy bien. Y fue de gran ayuda sus palabras para venir a Seattle.
So when this opportunity came up and we were starting to have discussions about this, of course the first thing that I did is to go talk to Álvaro about it, because he has played here before, and as soon as I mentioned this as an opportunity for him, he said, don't even think about it, just go. And the city is beautiful, the people is amazing, the fans are great, so you shouldn't even be wasting your time thinking about it. So I can tell you that Álvaro's opinion was very important for me to decide to come over here. That's basically it.
For Nico, any advice that Guillermo was to share with you about playing the MLS? ¿Algún consejo que te dio Guillermo antes de venir para acá de cómo se juega la MLS, los tácticos, los futbolísticos?
Sí, con Guillermo hablamos mucho de la MLS, y las palabras de él también fueron claves para mi llegada a la MLS. Y el consejo fue que son muy fuertes, que no es lo que parece, que todo el mundo a veces piensa que es un fútbol diferente, o es un fútbol diferente pero que es un fútbol fácil, y que no, que venga y entrene como entrené siempre, que me prepare, porque es una liga muy competitiva y que está creciendo mucho, que entrene como lo venía haciendo, que sin duda me va a ir bien.
Definitely, I definitely talked to Guillermo about the MLS many times, and his words were that basically the perception is that this could be an easy league, but it's absolutely not true. It is a very strong league with strong players, and that you need to prepare. You need to keep training. You need to keep on your toes and be always at your top, so you can be competitive. And that's what I intend to do. I intend to train. I intend to keep training the way that I have been doing all the time to be successful here.
Nuevamente Nico Moreno, la afición Norwest. Nico, tú siendo un referente de Boca, un referente de la selección uruguaya, ¿tienes algún miedo, alguna preocupación de que a veces los técnicos nacionales no le dan oportunidades a jugadores de la MLS? ¿Te preocupa de alguna manera que perderás alguna convocatoria con la selección por estar en la MLS?
Nico, you are like a reference for the national Uruguayan team, and are you a little worried that maybe because of coming playing into the MLS that could challenge potentially a call out into the national team in the future?
No, la verdad que no, porque primero que el entrenador de Uruguay siempre convoca a los jugadores que están en un buen nivel o están jugando siempre, y yo confío mucho en mis condiciones, en que puedo rendir bien acá, y eso me deja tranquilo. Lo principal es que confío en mí, y si yo juego en el nivel que espero y las cosas salen como yo quiero, la oportunidad de representar a mi país y estar en la selección van a estar siempre. Entonces no me preocupa venir a una liga como la MLS, y tampoco porque es una liga, como dije recién, fuerte, que está creciendo, y hoy en día está muy pareja con otras ligas de otros países. Entonces, como dije, es una gran oportunidad para mí estar en esta liga, y nada, que confío mucho en mis condiciones y no tengo miedo de que pueda afectar a alguien.
So the straight answer is no. I'm not worried about that. The coach of the national Uruguayan team is a coach that continuously calls up into players that are in their top performance level, and I plan to continue to be on my top performance level. I came to this league because I believe that this is a strong league, and it's a league that is continuing to grow, and it's at the same level as many other leagues around the world where many other players get called as well. So again, my plan is to continue to train strongly, to have things happen on the way that I plan to happen in here by having the results that we need to have, and me having the performances that I need to have. And then I believe that I'm going to continue to have a very strong opportunity to be part of the national team in the future.
Other questions? Great, thanks guys. At this time, we're going to break now for a photo opportunity over here immediately to my right on the backdrop. For photogs, I want to get ready here. We'll do still photography first, and then obviously we will get more of a welcome to capture as well. We'll just allow you guys to get set. Over here, we'll also have one-on-one available at the backdrop.